In this box are a pair of shoes that have the ability to revolutionize the shoe industry. And the most insane part is they're from a company that I almost guarantee you've never heard of. These are the brand new Lono Flows from a company called Lono. They've only been open for 2 years and this is the second shoe that they've ever produced. But what stands them apart from every other shoe manufacturer that I know of is that these shoes are completely biodegradable. As you can probably tell by the fact that they've just come out of the box, today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video. Just having a look at the shoes, their features, the materials, and what I think they're going to be like and how I feel they're going to be performing based on all the experience I have with shoes like these. So with that in mind, let's get stuck in. The first thing that struck me as soon as I took these shoes out the box was this insole right here where it says sockless. Now, I'd say that's fairly unique when it comes to barefoot shoes. Some people do wear them without socks. Personally, I find that they do tend to stink up whenever you're wearing barefoot shoes without socks. Yes, you do get a little bit more ground feel, but you might also end up with shoes that you don't want to be wearing. So the fact that they're promoting you to wear these sockless, I find that really interesting, and I'm intrigued to see how these do perform after wearing them sockless for a little while. But aside from that, on a design standpoint, they actually look really similar to a Primus Lite, the Primus Lite knit from VivoBarefoot. One of the big differentiators though is the price. These come in at $76 US, which is about half of what VivoBarefoot is charging for their Primus Lite knit. And honestly, holding these shoes in my hand, giving them a flick around, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Yes, the material on these is a bit thicker, and that could be just because they're a little bit cheaper, so they have to be thicker, but everything feels very premium. But from a pricing standpoint, for half the price, would I take an extra 3mm on the sole? Possibly. We're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to do a long-term test to know whether or not these are actually worth their $76. Because durability, to me, is going to be the biggest differentiator. One of the big selling points for this company is the fact that these shoes are biodegradable. The question is that if this shoe is biodegradable, what's to stop it biodegrading whilst you're wearing it? And are they going to have a lifespan of, say, a year before their components start to fail? I've had a lot of my Primus Lites for 4 or 5 years and they're still going strong. So if you end up having to buy 5 pairs of these to match the one purchase that you need for your Primus Lites, then the price becomes much more understandable. But I'm really liking all this knitted material that they're using. You can actually see right the way through the knit, but this material looks like it has a huge amount of breathability, which is quite cool. And then they've chosen to reinforce key elements with this sort of suede leather, which wraps right the way around the heel, onto the inner arch, and also on the toe, which is going to be quite useful, I should imagine, for impact resistance, just going to help provide a little bit more durability. One thing that I have just noticed actually is these laces. So the lace beds are sewed into this suede section right here, and then there's this sort of center holding section to stop the laces sliding up and down your foot, which would increase wear and tear. But the offset for that is that they seem to have suggested that you tie your laces onto the inside of the foot. It's kind of weird, kind of unique. I haven't seen anything like that before. I guess you need to be really precise with how you do your lacing. Otherwise, I could definitely see how you'd be stepping on your laces and undoing your shoe as you walk. We'll try that one out and see what happens. The sole has got like a very 2010 to 2015 Nike feel to it. They've gone for this crosshatch trail style grip. It does feel very, very grippy, which is cool. But I am very intrigued to see how these inlaid sections here cope when you're going over dirt and whether or not they're going to get clogged up and how comfortable that feels underfoot. They've done this really nice knurling almost on the toe and on the heel as well, just those key contact points. And then the last key design feature that I'm noticing right out the box is actually this little slit right here. Now, one of the biggest things that you'll find on things like the Primus Lite from VivoBarefoot is they have this failure point actually. So where the toe and the body of the shoe bend, it's not uncommon to see this section here separating from the rubber sole. It appears that Lono has done a very good job of reading customer reviews and listening to customer feedback for companies probably like Zero and VivoBarefoot and actively done something about it in their design. How effective this is, we're going to have to see. So right off the bat, my first impression is that these are pretty squarely aimed at taking away some of the market share from VivoBarefoot, and primarily their incredibly popular Primus light range. I think what comes now though is to actually put these shoes on my feet to go for a little walk in them so that I can feed back on the ground feel, the toe box feel and the sizing, what I enjoy about them and what I would probably change. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and jump in the comments section down below to let me know what you think of these shoes. Do you think they're any good? Do you think there's any major design flaws? Let me know in the comments. So having taken these shoes out for a quick spin, there's a few things that I've already picked up on. One, the grip is good, but it's not crazy good. If you spend a lot of time walking on wet concrete or tarmac, these do slip a little bit more than I'm used to. Two, the ground feel is okay, but it's not amazing. You can change that by taking out the removable insole, but then you lose the ability to wear these completely barefoot, so you would have to put socks on, which kind of defeats the point. Three, the sizing is great. If you already have barefoot shoes, order these in whatever you normally wear and they will feel really good. The material on top felt great, my foot felt very snug and secure, and I think the laces are definitely there more for styling than anything else. I didn't have to tighten them, I didn't even have to play with them. So you could get rid of them altogether and just wear these as a slip-on shoe. So all in, what do I love and what do I hate about these shoes? Well, first thing that I love is the price and the overall mission that Lono set out with. At $76 US, it's hard to argue with the quality of the product that you end up getting. These feel very premium, and to be honest, when I found out the price, it did kind of blow me away. The proof to the pudding in that will be how long these end up lasting, whether or not they are durable enough to really be challenging the VivoBarefoots. The second thing that I absolutely love is the recyclability of these components. This shoe is 90% biodegradable, so when you're finished with it, you can stick it in the ground and it will just rot away. There's not, to my knowledge, any other companies doing anything like that at the moment, and I think it's very commendable. And the third thing I love is how they feel. They are really, really comfortable on foot. This breathable material on top feels great. It really does a good job of holding your foot in place. And although, yes, the sole could be thinner, even as someone that walks barefoot all the time, they're good enough. And the fourth thing that I absolutely love is the fact that they've been listening to people, listening to consumers and making fixes for problems that we know exist. I think that's hugely commendable. So well done, Lono, for listening and actioning. That said, these shoes are not perfect and there's definitely some things that I would change. Firstly, it's this claim of sockless. They might be sockless whilst you're wearing the shoes with insole, but then you lose ground feel. But as soon as you take these insoles out, you're left with this like silicone-y, foamy material that's been stitched on top of the sole. Personally, I'd like to see a very, very thin piece of fabric put on top of that so that once you take the insoles out, you can still walk about in these sockless. The second thing I'd change, if possible, would be the thickness of the sole. 6mm, it's good, but it could be better. I'd really like to see them trying to get that down to 4mm. You get way more ground feel, and that's one of the key markers of a barefoot shoe, definitely in my books, so I'd love to see that changed. The third thing would be the thickness of this breathable knit. If possible, a little bit thinner would be quite nice. It feels really good. Yes, it is breathable, but you're definitely aware it's there. It's pulling onto your shoe. That's just a personal taste. I don't love it. And the fourth thing that I would love to change about these shoes is the offset laces. I get that it might be cool and quirky from a design standpoint, but even when I took these out for a quick spin, I was stepping on my lace. And when we're talking about shoes with ground feel, you can feel it when you're stepping on your lace, and it doesn't take long for it to get annoying. So it would be cool if they could just, I don't know, center the laces just like a normal shoe, or get rid of them completely. But all in, first impressions of this shoe are really good. I think that Lono has done a fantastic job, bearing in mind that this is their second shoe. They've set lofty ambitions and they've managed to deliver on it. So huge credit to the team over at Lono. I think they're fully sold out at the moment, but you can pre-order. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hit that like button while you're there. And if you want to know more about the biggest competitor to the Lono Flow, then check out this video up here on the VivoBarefoot Primus slide. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.